Good evening, everybody. See you, Chris. Calling to order the Public Works Committee at 7:39. Bernie Flynn's chair, Sheila Vaccaro, and Brian Travis are up here with me. So let's call to order. We have an announcement. A public meeting will be held on July 29th at 5:30.
I'd like to that's a misprint here on our agenda because there's going to be some admin work going on and I didn't want to put the ad out for that date. So what I'd really like to consider for the committee to consider is an August 5th, meeting. And it wouldn't be a meeting of Borough Council. It'll be a meeting to discuss the elements in the pollution reduction plan, gather public input, and comply with PADEP's 30-day requirements. So my ask is that we maybe think about doing that on August 5th, which I believe is a Tuesday night. Is that correct, Kelly? It's a Tuesday night at the same time, same place here, where we would do a presentation of the pollution reduction plan, get some public comment, record that presentation, and then use it over the next 30 days to garner some more public input, because we have asynchronous ways for people to participate and give us public input, not just at the meeting.
So what we should probably do is put this maybe on the work session for an updated announcement.
I agree with you, and I would like it. I don't want to make it a meeting of Borough Council because then you have to have a quorum present.
Right.
And I don't want to have you add another meeting to your calendars if you can't make it.
It clearly says a public meeting will be held. So, yeah, so it's public invited.
Public's invited, but it's not a public meeting of, I don't want to do it as a public meeting
Right.
of Borough Council.
Borough Council meeting. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, let's do it, on the work session. That way it's more concise and succinct. Or maybe stinks. Yeah. All right. Any comments, suggestions, petitions by borough residents in attendance regarding items not on the agenda? See none? All right. Reports, engineers report. Ms. Kelly from RVE.
Thank you, Councilman Flynn. Again, I'm Kelly Goff with RVE. I'm one of the consulting engineers for the borough, just for the record. At the last meeting in June, we discussed revisions to the Gay Street closure bid package. And since that June meeting, we have revised the bid package to better align with the borough's priorities. We've restructured the package to focus on the most critical intersections, which include Matlack and Darlington, ensuring that they receive the attention in the shorter term. The High Street intersection improvements have been included as an add alternate option. Phasing the project allows us to maintain high standards without compromising the borough's criteria, including safety. To encourage competitive bid pricing and innovation, we have also introduced the option for bidders to bid on a alternate product, including the wedge product. All the proposed products will meet the crash safety standards as determined by the Police Department and Homeland Security. Additionally, we have ensured that each option satisfies the necessary horizontal vertical clearance and allows for ease of relocation, which is important for emergency services and the public works crew. We submitted the bid package to the borough staff last week, and we are working on addressing their comments. It should be ready to bid next week. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Can you explain to the committee what the three options look like as far as, or the two options look like as far as the apparatus?
Sure.
Because we've been talking about all different kinds of things, but it seems like we've zeroed in on two distinct pieces.
Mm-hmm. So each option will have the same criteria where they need to have that crash rating established by the PD and Homeland Security. So at Darlington and Matlack, they must have the M50 crash rating, which is basically like a box truck going at 50 miles an hour. Secondly, they need to have the criteria in which when their vehicles are allowed to pass through Gay Street, there has to be, you cannot reduce the roadway width. And the products that are specifically listed in the specifications include those sliding bollards. And the second product is a wedge product, which is basically it's in the road, and then when it's deployed, it comes up out of the road, and then it'll prevent vehicles from going down Gay Street. And then the third option, it still has all the same criteria where you need to have that horizontal clearance, you need to have that that crash rating requirement, but we are allowing bidders to submit an alternate product that meets all those criteria, in which we will review during after receiving bids. We also are requiring bidders to submit that product with their bid and any locations that that product has been previously installed.
You guys understand what the envelope looks like? You've seen it at the government facilities. But the cartway, I'm going to put you on the spot. The cartway of Matlack and Darlington is roughly what, 22 feet wide?
That's about right, yes.
Okay, so we know what the Matador looks like. Looks like chess pieces that move in and out.
Mhm.
So they're very aesthetically a very good thing. The
The wedge.
wedge, how, since we're looking at a 22-foot cartway roughly, what are we going to, we can't have a 22-foot wide envelope on the it would just, it would be like riding over metal plates, like a construction site.
Are you talking about when the wedge is up and
Wedge.
blocking
No, when it's-
vehicles,
when
or
it-
when it's down?
Yeah, how wide is the wedge?
So the wedge will actually, the products that we've seen, you'll actually need two wedges side by side in order to prevent vehicles from going through Gay Street.
They're basically 10 feet apart, roughly the width of them are 10 feet.
That's about
So
right.
you need two wedges.
Depending on the product you pick.
Yeah, okay, good. So you guys have a better idea.
Yeah, it was a good question. I had the same question. It was
Yeah, I
like,
just
can they
couldn't
get
figure out how
it, can
you
people
gonna-
get
it'd be
around
a
it?
It would be a drawbridge if the wedge came up. I don't know
Right.
how we would hydraulically would get it up, but two of them makes a lot more sense. And the as we get deeper into it, I'm concerned with that, with the public safety people, the fire department trying to get down there, the police trying to get down there, how fast they can make that wedge go back down if we decide to go with that product.
Right. So that's also part of the criteria, that it must be to deploy and to put down and put up, so that emergency services can get in and out with ease.
Excellent. So we'll be ready for that for next week, right? Put out the bid?
Yes.
Yeah, good. And do you know how many, have we selected the bidders, or are we just putting it out on general government bid
So
procedures?
we'll be uploading it to a site called penbid/bonfire, and that allows the bid. It's publicly bid, so any contractor that wants to bid on it can. And we'll also be soliciting and contractors that we know that bid on projects in this area. We'll also call them and say, just so you know, this project's out to bid, so that they're aware. Although they all get notifications through PennBid when this project is out to bid as well.
You guys have any questions? We've come a long way from pillars and gates and all that stuff to, Venus flytraps and
Right.
chess pieces.
So I don't know if you remember, but the gates that were originally proposed, they don't have that crash rating safety that is required by the PD and the Homeland Security. So that's why we steered away from those gates initially.
Great. Any questions?
Just, do you think we'll have something to look at by the next cycle of meetings next month? How long do you think, how long do you anticipate?
So if we go out to bid, typically your bidding period lasts about 3 to 4 weeks. So they should be ready in August.
So thank you. Any more questions? Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
And Daryl. There's a brother named Daryl too. Come on, Daryl.
On the engineer's report, 611 Darrell Cook, South Walnut Street, 611 East Neald Street's listed with a RVE issued review, letter number 3 on 6/27/25. I'm wondering when the last changes were made to the East Neald Street project.
Are you talking about Eli Khan's property? Okay. I don't know whether we've done anything at all with that, have we, Kelly? Yeah, please, yeah.
Thank you again. This is Kelly Goff, one of the consulting engineers. We received a submission in May.
On the engineer's report, it lists 6 proposed access driveways, 4 full movement driveways, 2 along South Adams Street. And I'm curious what the changes are. Thank you.
To what, Daryl?
The driveways in and out of the property.
611?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be clear about where we are in the process, the Borough Council approved final plans for 611 East Nealds in May of 2024, I believe. I may be off about the month. And it's taken this long for the applicant to send back in revised final plans. So this is an administrative review of the final plans to make sure that they conform to everything that is in the final plan resolution. So if they changed things like a driveway entrance, they're not allowed to. It has to be what they submitted and got approved by council last year. So that's what we do is we go down the final plan resolution and we check off everything that they did or they didn't do in the plan set. And if we agree that everything is right and correct, we sign the plans and the applicant then has the option to record those plans. That's where we are in that process.
Thank you, Mr. Metric. Daryl, does that answer all your questions? Excellent. Thank you. All right. Public Works, move on. We do? I don't see a second engineer. Oh, there he is. He's very quiet. Thank you. What's an engineer look like?
Come in different shapes and sizes. I happen to be John Renzo.
Thanks, John.
This is a unique night. We have both of our engineering teams here. Don't get them too close to each other.
And I will be very brief. I have no new business.
John, you handle Maple Alley? Is that you?
Mike Ellis from Panoni does.
Okay.
He handles the sanitary sewer side.
Okay.
I handle most of our capital projects.
Okay, great.
Outside of sanitary.
Thank you.
But John Renzo from Panoni, borough engineer. Very brief presentation tonight. I'd like to take a few quick moments just to update on the completion of 2 projects we've been working on with the borough over the last few months. And I believe, Bill, we have a couple of exhibits. Beautiful, right? That's what Goose Creek looks like these days. No, I'm kidding. I know myself and Nate have both been here, Nate Klein, the borough engineer, previously before this committee, to discuss these projects that have been either proposed or under construction. It's nice to come back and put a little bow on them, so to speak, when they've been completed. I can start with either. This is the Hoops Park, Westchester Racket Center, and I won't go too much into this because I know Keith is going to present on this in just a few minutes, but I do want to thank Keith for his assistance in completing this project. Keith was instrumental in moving the project forward and providing his insight into what the vision is and the need for the courts here in the borough. But this project was just about 100%, well, the one that was up there before, both of them, just about 100% grant funded. We were able to, with those grant funds, repair and resurface the existing courts. With a high-performance sport court, we converted an existing tennis court into 2 pickleball courts. We installed new nets and posts and added ADA accessibility improvements in the form of a new walking path, gate, and parking. And I'll leave it there for Keith to elaborate on when he comes back up. The other project would be the Goose Creek Green Infrastructure Project. And if you recall, this project was a green infrastructure project to improve water quality and get PRP credit for the borough. We installed a number of rain gardens, both within the Public Works site and on Matlack Street, to manage stormwater and improve water quality before it enters Goose Creek. We also repaved and restriped the parking lot at the Public Works site. And while I'm here, I'd also like to thank Don Edwards and Will Williams for their efforts on this project. Received a big assist from Don, who basically oversaw all of the daily construction activity once the project got underway and did all the coordination with the contractor. And Will did a lot of the legwork as far as getting the grant agreements in place. The Goose Creek project is 100% complete. I just spoke to Will before this meeting, and he is in the process of closing out the grants as we speak.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Are you doing the rain gardens right outside of Lacey Street, on Lacey Street there?
Not that I am aware of.
Okay.
Which ones? The ones on Matlack? Are there new ones? The ones on
Yes.
Matlack as part of
Yes.
this project? Yes.
Yeah. When will they be completed? Do you have any idea?
So the rain gardens that are on Matlack at the corner of Lacey are complete. They've been seeded with with plugs and with a seed mixture. So it takes a little bit of time for that to come in and sort of, it's just grasses that are in there because of the fact that they're next to the street. We don't want to put any kind of shrubs or trees in there. So it'll take a little bit of time to germinate. I know we've spoken with Sean and Will, and the landscaping contractor that the borough has in place may take over some maintenance of that moving forward. I don't want to speak on that too much, but it sounds like that's the plan in place possibly for the fall or next spring.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Mr. Edward, do you have any more guests? Okay. Just checking. You bring your friends all the time.
Yeah, right. Good evening. The highlights for this past month are as follows. We completed most of the 2025 paving project as of today. We received a third proposal for the Goose Creek flood study, which we're going to discuss tonight. We ordered Big Belly trash containers. We should receive them in August. We'll use one of them to replace the one that caught fire this week. And 4, we request a proposal for architectural and engineering services for a public works building. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Guys have any questions?
No, just a comment on that Big Belly. So I actually have video footage from that exact event. Somebody lit a mortar, threw it into the trash can, and it exploded. So I can share that with anybody that's interested in having that.
Right.
Somebody lit a mortar firework, one of the ones that goes way up in the air and bursts. They put that in the trash can, exploded it. So glad you had one on order to replace. But yeah, that one's toast.
Did the trash can contain the explosion? No.
Now it blew the door open and caught on fire.
Okay, all right. Just curious if it worked. All right. Oh, you're talking about paving.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a second and tell you how good of a job. And I've seen them around the borough, and they actually worked in the most successful alley in the borough, the Potter Alley. A guy named Jimmy Smith is the lead foreman for Glasgow, and he in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Different streets he did in our neighborhood. He actually went around, interacted with all the residents that were outside wondering what the heck was going on. And customer service was phenomenal. And the end product is even more phenomenal than expected.
Great.
So thank you. I just want to pass on the good things to Glasgow.
I'll pass it along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
There's 100 million of them, he told me. They have a yearly barbecue out in Iowa. Everybody named Jimmy Smith. So thank you.
Sure.
Maple Alley, are you ready? Mr. Wastewater? Sean Mitchell.
Good evening. Last month in June, the crews dropped both primary clarifiers in the heat, replaced the rubber scrapers. T2A had all the nuts and bolts and all thread ground off and replaced. They pumped down all the the valve chambers and the utility manholes from all the larger storms, cleaned out all the water out of those. We have pictures from a capital project, 2 new 2,000-gallon tanks, and most of the pumps were delivered. One of our delivery people lost a box that had components for the skid, so that delivery company is still looking for a separate box of plugs, wires, and manuals. Those are the actual pictures of the tanks that the contractors and our employees wrestled in and then up over a wall and under an AC duct. So it was, that's the pump, the skid pump. There is a couple parts missing off of it that the delivery company is still looking for. The actual company who supplied it is sending us another box. So if we get the other one back, we'll just send it back. That will be up and running. Our bench test just started this morning for the alum and pack products. So that'll be hopefully within the next 2 months of starting that and going with that. Goose Creek averaged 764,000 gallons a day. Taylor Run had their yearly inspection on T6A final clarifier. They drained, cleaned, and checked the scraper arms and the seals. They did yearly inspections on T3A and B clarifiers, did the same. Cleaned the sodium bisulfate tank. They actually had to fabricate, they had a safety problem. They had pico lines that come in, boxes in the ground, and somebody stepped on it and went way down. So they fabricated new boxes that the electric lines come in. Their average flow was 791,000 gallons per day. All the monthly cleanings and inspections at the pump stations were performed. The one portable flow meter is in use. It was in one manhole for the East Bradford I&I connections. Our second meter actually was delivered today and will be put in place this week for borough I&I study.
Any
Maple
questions?
Alley.
Yeah, the most important alley. in the
Maple
world.
Alley, again, we're stuck with that famous DEP. We
Uh,
still know.
I'd love to know where that man lives.
We,
Send him a cake.
we have a plan in the works, so we're just waiting on the right timeline. If we don't get it, we're going to keep moving up the chain and firing away phone calls and emails.
Right. Thank you. All right. Any questions, Steve? Mr. Mitchell, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Korowski. Good evening.
Good evening, committee. Keith Karowski, Director of the Parks and Rec Department. June was a very, very busy month for the Parks and Rec Department. I'll start off with some of the events with the big bad boy that started off the month, which was the Turk's Head Music Festival at Everhart Park. My opinion, I've been a part of several of those, and it was just a wonderful event, a great gathering of people and music. There were no incidents that I was reported to from the police, so everything ran smoothly. We did get a little rain midday, and Mother Nature just has not been very cooperative this spring and or in the summer. So we've been dealing with it quite a bit. I did have a productive meeting with a member, one of the higher ranking members of the Friends of Everhart Park after the event to discuss some potential options for improvements to next year. I think it was a very cordial, informative meeting, and I think there's definitely some things we can do to just make the event better for the group, the park, the neighborhood in general, which we're going to explore. We had several events take place. We had mini golf. Unfortunately, that was the same day as there was a bit of a get together in the middle of town. So our mini golf was 9 holes on the east side, 9 holes on the west side. They couldn't get to the west side to finish their rounds of golf. So while the people were pretty nice, the ones that participated, we got a very low turnout this year because of the other activities taking place in town. We had a virtual golf night on the 27th, which we partnered with several entities, one being Drive Box, Rapsodo Golf, Broad Run Golf Course, Golf Galaxy. We had the Drive Box is basically a golf studio on wheels. We had that in front of the post office along with a Rapsodo MLM2 Pro simulation system that we set up on a netting system outside the golf course. I don't want to toot my own horn, but inside the Drive Box, it was a 145-yard hole, played about 123, and I stuck at the 1 foot 11 inches. So we had a thing called Beat the Director. If you wanted to just come up and go against me, $5, one swing, knee versus shoe. And I actually did have 15 people beat me, but I beat about 30 too. And we had a prize pool of over $3,000 worth of golf apparatus, rounds of golf, time at Golf Galaxy that we've been giving out to the winners of the male and female age groups. Those are pretty much the big events that took place. I want to go on some of the capital projects that have been taking place, as John mentioned, and I want to thank Kim and Panoni and Megan too from Panoni as well for the grants that helped us get the funding to do this, and John for his on the site and keeping things nice and neat, keeping on the contractors. I think we've got a well overdue, needed, really nice tennis facility and pickleball facility at Hoops Park now. I'm just waiting for the USTA groups to start reaching out to us and start planning their fall leagues through us. It's going to be, you know, if you haven't been to the park, if you haven't seen the courts yet, please go take a look. They look absolutely wonderful. We will mitigate, or we will look at the mitigation of the sound from pickleball. That is one of the key issues that took place. There is some heavy duty sound repairing type, almost looks like a small wrestling mat hanging on the fence to keep that sound down. We will keep that in mind, and I'm sure the neighbors will let us know if there are any issues. One thing that's on here is it'll be on tomorrow night's finance committee meeting will be the purchase of the Horace Pippin Playground for installation this fall. Again, I think it was last month we had talked about moving some numbers around between two different projects. The number comes in, I think, $300 over my estimated cost, which was $65K. It's like $65,386. Also, the John O. Green projects are still in the kind of review phase from our grantors. We applied for a grant to DCD for $250K to support a $300,000 project. And we applied to the People, Parks, and Community Foundation for a $30,000 grant for a $115,000 project to just take care of the water play features at the park. Like I said, it's been a busy month. It's been exciting. And hopefully we'll hear some good news in the next few months about the grants we applied for, and we'll just keep moving through. One last item of note, we did receive the draft final of the pros plan from our consultants. That is being reviewed by the steering committee at a meeting next Wednesday. And once the steering committee goes through the plan with the consultants and we can make the changes or adjustments, it'll be coming back before this committee, I would assume, before it heads to full council. And then, sorry, one last full note. We will have a grand opening of the Hoops Park tennis courts on August 1st. It'll be like a luncheon, come play pickleball, come play tennis. All of council will be invited. We're going to invite our grantors and some other folks from around the area to come join us for some lunch and to hack around the courts for a little bit. Are there any questions I can answer?
You guys have anything?
Two questions.
Sorry,
Just
what?
the golf you had
Yes.
on. So what was the other event that was conflicting, that was causing
Oh,
issue?
the rally, the
Oh,
No Kings rally.
that's right. Now I'm remembering. Yeah.
That was literally the same day that took place, I think, from 12 to 1, and our event was like 11 to 3. So it was right in the middle of what we were,
Gosh.
and it was a significantly well-attended event.
Yeah. And then the other thing is the Turk's Head.
Yes.
Were any of the comments from the Friends of around where the vehicles were parked? Because I had noticed this
It
year.
was more so not the general passenger vehicle. It was the heavier food trucks and things of just a larger nature. And we had discussions about how we can maybe potentially move some things around next year. Like I said, I think it was an interesting conversation. I think there could be some fruit coming from that as well. I just kind of got to look at the logistics.
Okay, yeah, that was it. Because I noticed that a lot of the areas where people could actually sit and watch were being taken up by those large vehicles.
Yeah.
So
Is
I imagine that came up.
Is it possible to recreate the miniature golf again so it can be finished?
Yes, we are actually. We're working with Westchester University on their Welcome Back weekend. Don't quote me on the date, but I want to say it's August 26th. We will, similar to what we did last year with the Welcome Back weekend, we plan some activities, events for everyone to take place, and the university covers the cost of their students to do whatever we're doing. But this year, we're pretty much just doing miniature golf.
And I got a lot of positive feedback on the skateboard demonstration.
Yeah.
It went very well, and the people said they didn't ever see so many kids in one spot.
It was well attended. I think we had somewhere between 35 and 40 actual participants. There was no cost to participate, but they had to fill out a waiver. If they're 18 or over, they fill it out. If not, their parents have to fill it out for them. And there was a lot of younger children that were being helped by the Skate Chesco folks. Just learn how to get on a board for the first time, push off. They weren't doing any fancy tricks, but we probably, had, I don't know the exact number, but well over 100 people, probably a few hundred people that just stopped by to take pictures, to just, while they were in town, enjoying town, they were just stopping by to take notice of like what's going on here. It was really well received.
I'd still like to put one down by Sidemer. What do you think, Ms. Vaccaro? Wouldn't it be wonderful? Yeah. How you want to do things? I'd like to I'd love to have a skateboard park down there. So, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Old business, approve the June 2025 meeting minutes. Do you guys find anything wrong with them?
No.
Okay. And number 2, under old business, discuss the progress of a new public works building.
You want it, Sean?
I have an update that has nothing to do with the building, but Barbara and I did meet with bond counsel to talk about financing and what our next steps will be there. We're going to get some recommendations to talk to a financial advisor and approach the problem with a financial advisor and bond counsel. It's very important that we understand timing before we engage and go down the road of borrowing a big sum of money, because there are rules and regulations about deploying those funds in a timely manner. And you obviously don't want to carry principal that you're paying interest on when you're not getting to enjoy the thing that you borrowed the money to pay for. So a little bit of coordination. I'm sort of taking the financial planning lead on this, and Don is taking the logistics, feet on the ground lead on project development and looking for proposals to help us design it. So it's kind of how we're chopping it up.
The last time we discussed here in council, you told us that an architect, took about 20 boxes with them and was supposed to go through the boxes and come up with some type of organized plan based on previous information that we gave them.
Yeah, we received part of the proposal today. The part that we did not get were the renderings, which are the pretty pictures that show it. I hope to have something to show you in the near future. I'd rather not talk about just the partial proposal without having everything together, but we're real close. And yes, we do have something that evolved out of all those boxes that they took. Yeah.
So the partial proposal is basically a synopsis of what they found and what other people could actually bid on, other architects and developers, or?
Well, what it is, it's actually a scope of services, a price, a schedule for doing the architectural and the engineering design for the building. I like the architect. We haven't talked about getting more than one proposal. Maybe we will. I don't know. But this is one proposal, and it'll give us a good budgetary number. And it also, I think, helps Sean and Barb as far as, the financing that we need to look into. The funding and financing.
Yeah, well, that way there gives us a footprint of what's an estimated cost of what it's going to be and what it should look like.
Right.
And then, it would be highly unlikely if we didn't ask, multiple architects to submit an RFP, just like we do engineers and stuff like that, even though we like the person and the company.
Yep.
It wouldn't be fair to the residents if we didn't ask, for a competitive bidding.
I get it. I'm all about competition as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, Mr. McGinnis would never allow me to do that, to appoint somebody.
I wouldn't either.
Oh, there you go. Mr. Travis wouldn't let me do it either. So there you go. All right, thank you.
All right.
All right, let's see. New business. You were ready to run away again, weren't you?
Close.
The Goose Creek flood study proposal.
Okay, so I'll tee this up. We did receive a third proposal, and I communicated the results. The low price was RVE. All three proposals met the technical requirements, and And I'm good with all three. If it helps you, I can make a recommendation. And if not, I just recommend that you pick one of them.
Well, all the bidders are competitive,
Yep.
right?
Very.
And and our in-house engineer that has put a stamp on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have to apologize. I don't know what the numbers are because I didn't look at them.
Yeah.
I don't know what the spread is, but you know, so it'd be hard for us to make a recommendation.
Well, what I can do, I mean, what you're looking at right now, I believe, is RV's price. The next one was, can't remember which one it was, but it was $700 more. And then the third one was not much higher than that. So they were all pretty tight, which is a good sign, you know. I would just recommend that you would award it to RV, just because they're all technically sound. They're all qualified. They all have good proposals, but they're the low price.
Right.
So that is my recommendation.
So, committee, you want to agree,
I just have a
RVE?
question about capabilities of one firm or over another. I mean, $700 is
Right.
rounding error in many budgets, but it's a small number. But if they're more capable, they cost $700 more.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing any
What
differences.
I'm saying is they're all, I think they're well qualified.
Okay.
So there's nothing there that says, oh, well, this one is so much better, and so let's disregard the $700. I just think it's pretty simple, to be honest with you.
All right. RVE.
Are you okay?
Yep.
Ms. Vaccaro, you good?
Okay, yes, RVE.
Mr. Domenico, what's a 3-0 to take care of RVE as the Goose Creek? By the way, any snakes in that water?
Anyway, yeah, there are.
Uh,
Yeah, somebody.
Why are you laughing, Mr. Anderson? That's why I don't go down there
Yeah.
to do the cleanup, because I thought I saw a big snake once and that was it for me.
Yeah, I don't do snakes either.
Yeah. Did they put that in their proposal to make sure that they take care of the snakes?
No, we didn't tell them about the snake.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other business, guys? Public, anything that you want to present? All right, we're adjourned at 8:16.